What's good, YouTube Gaming Podcast Volume 2? And yes, we're going to be breaking down how aliens walk among us, but it may not be what you think. I feel like ESO is a perfect game to be breaking this down off of because we're going to be talking about Nords, Syrians, and a plethora of other things. It's a very intriguing idea. Come to think of it, I got my notes over here as I gaze upon as we talk. Another thing we would like to start with is you have to believe in order to essentially be what they so. Hopefully this aligns with you. You clicked on the video for a reason, right? But Syrian beings, as you believe, or like would say essentially, I would call it like the big brother race to us. So everything is like a perfect ecosystem. Yes, they are derived and have different like entities and beings and makeups from each other, just like humanoids, how they can differ. And that's why when their genetic makeup or like when they come across us from, back from biblical times or of our previous ancestors, when they were talking and helping out with us, they were described like similar but just tidbit differences. But alongside that would be like if anybody would come visit our humanoid books. The reason I'm doing quotations behind that is we're going to be breaking down if we're actually humanoid or not. So just sit back, take a seat, and be ready to be enlightened. And yeah, with the Big Brother race idea, was always saying is if anything in life, the Syrians have helped us as far as pyramids and what they like to do. They're very high intellectual beings, so they work with telepathy, telepathic, and not only that, they believe that everything coincides and consists. But you know how we like to balance our yin and our yang, and believe like ego, the id should be a perfect balance. What they like to do is perfectly excel in what they believe their true purpose work for, so then they can coincide and have that role played and be an excellent member of the community. And then when they need another expert, that's when they sit back and derive, and it's like coincides in like a perfect society utopia. And if you're trying to like figure out like a perfect narration of like in modern times, yes, we talk about Syrians and people of Atlantis. But now, if you could be more up to speed with me, see how it's like we're going, like, soon it coincides with that race. But like, I've always said this, and I'm a big believer in this. But listen, see, I got woods, I got my roots out. I feel like I'm more like in touch with the earth when, like, how we're supposed to be spiritual, put our feet down, our energy, our vibration is a big thing and mighty. Like, for instance, and that's what I'm bringing it back to ESO, like our argons, like the tree race. Not to be that type of person, but you can see like certain people derive from certain areas and cultures, and then like what happens is like be of that per se. You know what I'm saying? And then like our Nords. Like I'm a Nord right now in the game, and I kind of made a joke like, yeah, you can't make them black, but essentially, Nords weren't black people that come in and visit from us, as they were whether it was, more pale or pasty, bro, but like gigantic and stuff. And then I'll be thinking like, as far as like how the Syrians help with like in our pyramids, coming with us, and like how they're big on like you can heal with music and the power of spirituality, and have everything is like coexist in one human being and all that. And I also believe in that like not limiting my God to anything. It's like this is just a tidbit, like some wisdom knowledge. I don't know if you know, like I feel like we can't see that realm that it is. Like everybody feels like space, other stars and universes is dark or purple and all that. But stay with me. As I'm coming back and I'm sitting down and thinking about, like Saturn, like Satan and all that. In the biblical text, it talks about being a ring of fire and all that. You see where I'm going. But I'm not gonna, get too far on that. Basically, you know what I'm saying. But it's more so just about sitting back and having wisdom and a conscious knowing. And like, I don't know per se, like we have all people of different type of races. I know, like you can say whatever you want. Like during the Tower of Babylon, maybe we weren't supposed to separate, but everything happens for a reason. So we separate. We have different cultures and all that, and like we're limiting the people to be like humans and stuff. But like really, like you don't really know. You could become treat people like you're looking for the African civilization, tall giants or people like that. Kind of do look like a tree, and if you look like the giants that were coming out of the mountains, kind of look like Nords and stuff. I don't know, it's just something to sit back and think about, like how they can like. I don't believe it's like shape shifting. I don't believe like it's people are under attack or overwhelmed. I feel like our creator made this for us, and like I feel like as we can't see the stuff like the planets and all of this, they all have their own purpose and their own meaning, and he uses them as a purpose. So it's like a dark, like Dark Souls and stuff. It's like a different type of universe that we're essentially along to and can talk with. That's what I feel like. And then, like I was saying, like our natural adaptation with the argons, survival things, so like essentially, like like I was saying, God is not limited, so why would we limit him to this thing? Like he only made us humans. There could be a plethora of other races out there, and like I was saying, like the Big Brother race, as far as our Syrians coming up off, like if you see if anybody, those are the ones that are like more hands-on and most impacted in our race. They come in, kind of guide us through spiritually, pointing one toward the chosen ones, helping us, derive the text and everything, and being more, grounded. And one of the main things that I'm like big upon is like frequencies. So essentially, like we're talking about the frequencies and the music and everything. I don't know if you guys believe like in the box theory or the box universe. I don't know about. So but essentially, like it would say the past, the present, and the future all coinciding at the same time. That's why if you go back in the past, you make something bad happen, it's going to directly impact the future and the present. Same thing as you go in the future, you make something's going to dictate something that actually happened in the past because all three are constantly happening in the same realm at the same time. And that's just like the beauty of it. That's the same thing with like the box theory would be thinking. And then as far, I would say, as like us being guided by something, it's not like they're trying to directly like take over or something from us. It's just like God can have his own way of coming and talking to us. Like with fallen angels per se, like we don't. Why would you question or say anything like that? Like the world is set up by math and science and numbers, like everything's patterns and stuff. I believe like, this is the most brilliant mind we ever had. And like we don't even beginning to scratch the surface of what he has created for all of us. And like we can only see in a certain realm. We have all six worlds up there. Like you see when we get visited from people, you see like a meteor fall down. Whole time that's just bro sliding. Not just like before you take some serious topic off, but it's just bro sliding in we pick up right off the boonies. So I'm visiting to see what we're doing. But there is a reason why they always come back, and talk to us. But not, and I have been doing it so much per se around this time because I don't know if you know, they're not too big on war times and stuff. The Syrians are not big on war. You see what's going on in our life right now and what's dictating. So they're talking and they're helping, but as you know, there's going to be something that comes to stop it. They always come down and intervene to make sure we never go to like a global actual storm most of the time. But as we all know, eventually this does have to end. So we're in the final days. That's just a teaser for you boys. You know what I'm saying? But clearly, if you're still in this video, you're obviously interested in what we're talking about. Like, how do you feel like your spiritual realm gravitates towards yourself and whatnot? Now, unfortunately, I couldn't sit down and break it down one by piece, and I had to go right off the dome. But it's kind of more extravagant like that. You just know exactly what I'm thinking, exactly how I'm feeling. And I just feel like, especially like we go back, like I was thinking like, how like we're supposed to be like in fear, like if an alien comes or anything. Why would you believe that like that couldn't just be like something God created? Or like if you read the Bible, like angels, you were in fear of them. We see them when they come. But like the devil, he got 1/3 of the angels, bro. Don't be naive. He can get you. You know what I'm saying? And it's because he comes in a beautiful way. It's gonna be the crush you always wanted, or it's gonna be that promotion you always want. It's something to creep into your life and just take you away from your own being and your own what you're supposed to do on this earth. I believe we all have power. You just have to know what your power is and to unlock it. The more you sit down, the more you harness yourself and really go over and think about who you are supposed to be and aligning with this world will make more sense and be more open to accepting like, yeah, I wouldn't limit him to that. But another thing is we confuse ourselves by calling them aliens because we've alienated them. Back in the day, if you've seen they were coming in talking to us and being all nice, we made the placebo as if they were against us when it's not. You gotta think about all the things that were put out in for us, our creator. Water, we're 70% water, man. Those are water people. Like some of the feats and stuff that we do. And I know a lot of people try to call Wendy what he is, but him he's Argon. He's not nothing too serious, Just similar to me, it's just regular. That's what I'm saying. Like we are coincide something, but there's multiple different species of us. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you just put them in a box? I don't. I know we have box theory, but I feel like someone with that much power and that much intellect or has something going on with the world. And not to get too much spiritual, but like finding out your true purpose is really will help you try to be able to awaken and see things and see the world for how it is. Like we did a lot of stuff to pull away from people having their spiritual awakeness, to drain their true power, to drain their true intellect, that a lot of people just check mental boxes, but can't actually be like aligned with things. Like God still comes and talks to us. You ever notice that it's not the prayers that you say out loud in groups, it's when you're just quietly whispering. You just and you need sleep. There's different levels of sleep and the psychosis and all of that stuff. Like another thing I was saying that goes inside the box theory, because I know I'm running out of time here, and I could talk all day about this. So make sure you like and subscribe for part two. Is that what something coincides over here and going out there, depending on where you're located, because we all perceive time differently. Like time is never perfectly directed onto us. Is that let's say I'm over here in this time, but something happens in space. I can perceive this thought, and then my friend perceives this thought, but it's both are relatively true. But in our natural time place, we have a disagreement, and now we can't agree on things. And that's just when you sit back and think about it like that, there is something going on in that realm, in that world that has us derived from each other. But the more if we sit back and follow our true light, if we be more aligned, if we focus, if we think, if we understand what's going on, we make the world a better place. We get more visits from our big brother race, from our younger brother races. Another thing is I believe there could be people roaming Mars in outer space. We just can't see it because we're not spiritual. How do you know that aircraft up there is just a mere an asteroid and not somebody's home? Like we're not really awoken into that realm to fully understand it. And I'm going to dedicate myself, especially now since I got more of a decent job with this AI stuff, and I'll be getting some projects that align with this, and really helps me thinking in time, untap my mind, and really just harp on things to think about. Like when we were children, we were told aliens weren't real. Like I was telling my wife, I remember when I came across this type of thing in my childhood, and they all pulled us into a room in third grade and played this 2 hour TV movie to tell us aliens weren't real, to put us in fear and shock us, and no one believed, just for everything to be true. Now, why is that? Is the government hiding something from us? We know they already work alongside with us. You ever work in a NASA, you walk in there, you can work alongside your peers. I don't know. Just more beauty to think. Always keep looking up.